small decision you made that completely changed your life? It happened on a rainy Thursday, the kind of day where the sky pressed down like lead and the streets glistened with reflections of neon lights. I had just finished a long shift at work, the kind that grinds you into silence, and I was drenched by the storm that had broken without warning. My coat clung to my skin, my shoes squelched miserably, and all I wanted was to vanish under a blanket. At the corner of Maple and 3rd, I paused. To the right lay the familiar path home. To the left, a little bookstore I had passed 100 times but never entered. I don't know why, but that night I turned left. Inside, the bell above the door chimed, and warmth wrapped around me. The shop smelled of ink, old wood, and pages that had soaked up decades of stories. The owner, an elderly man with spectacles slipping down his nose, greeted me with a nod as if I belonged there. I wandered the narrow aisles, listening to the rain hammer the windows, fingertips brushing worn covers. Then I saw her. A young woman stood by the philosophy shelf, arms piled with books. One slipped, hit the floor, and rolled under a case. I bent down, retrieved it, and held it out. Her smile disarmed me completely. "Thank you," she said, her voice warm and unhurried. We laughed about her clumsiness, and the laughter lingered, becoming conversation. Her name was Emily. What should have been a fleeting exchange stretched into an hour. The two of us leaning against shelves, trading stories, sharing favorite books, even mocking the creaky floorboards. Outside, the storm raged, but in that shop it felt like time had been suspended. When the shopkeeper finally announced closing, we exchanged numbers with a hesitation that felt more like hope. That single decision to turn left instead of right changed the trajectory of my life. Over the following weeks, texts turned into phone calls, and those into meetings that stretched late into the night. Coffee dates became long walks, laughter grew into confessions. And soon Emily was woven into every part of my days. She challenged me in ways I hadn't known I needed. She dragged me into art exhibits, lent me books filled with ideas that rattled my certainties, and constantly nudged me beyond the small circle I had built around myself. One evening, under the orange glow of a street lamp, I confessed a secret. I had always dreamed of writing, but never dared. I expected her to laugh. Instead, she looked at me, serious and steady, and said, "Then stop dreaming and start." Her faith in me was relentless. She proofread my clumsy drafts, pushed me when I faltered, and when I finally submitted an application to a writing program, it was her belief that carried me through. The day the acceptance letter arrived, she screamed louder than I did. That moment, that small piece of paper, became the doorway to a life I never thought possible. Even now, I think about that rainy Thursday. If I had turned right, I would have trudged home, reheated leftovers, and gone to sleep. Unchanged. My life would have stayed small, predictable, safe. Instead, a simple choice opened a path to love, to growth, to a version of myself I never imagined. Now, every time I pass that corner, I pause. I glance at the glowing window of that little shop, and I remember how one small decision led me not just to Emily, but to the life I was always meant to find.